Okay, hello, welcome to Jazzy Tuesday. I think we got, Facebook's on board. So, welcome to Jazzy Tuesday, every Tuesday right here on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah. All right. And the new time, if you were around last week, it was the first time at the new time. The new time for the classes that I do on Instagram Live and Facebook Live are 5 p.m. for Jazzy Tuesday, and then 1 p.m. Pacific time for Stretchy Thursday. So if you'd like to join me for some stretching time on Thursday, I will be right here on these screens, and you're welcome to join me for a friendly reminder to stretch and take care of yourself. But this is your friendly reminder to make a little bit of jazz this week. And this week I've been wandering around the woods quite a bit, and I keep finding myself wanting to dance in places that I can't play music, and so I keep dancing without music, and I've been sort of finding that I'm repeating the same steps, and I'm kind of interested in exploring those. So I think that's what I'm going to do today during practice. So the steps that I've kind of been I guess just kind of going on repeat with I have been doing a lot of follow the logs, and I've been doing a lot of hallelujahs, and depending on the surface, some turny business, and those two are definitely the most cohesive or consistent. That's the word I was looking for. So I think I really want to make it into something that feels solid, and if you have been taking any of my classes, I've been talking a lot about last class, I think, or maybe it's this month, don't remember, a recent class, I talked about having like jazz bites that I can use that I really, really like, that fit with the way that I want to move, and having them readily accessible so that I can use them whenever I need them. And I kind of think that if I'm gonna, if I'm off somewhere and I want to just make some jazz, if these are the steps that keep coming out, then I think there's a jazz bite potential out there. And those classes that I was mentioning happen on Patreon. And so if you would like to support the things that I do, you can head over to Patreon and sign up. But this is here and free, and always will be, as with Stretchy Thursdays. But if you like the free things that I do and you would like to support me, Patreon is the place to do it. But let's get to a little bit of dancing. So the thing that I've been repeating at the beginning that's sort of solidified over the past few days has been to fall off the logs, and then a fall off the log with a kick, and then a turn around, and then some other stuff after that. So I think I'll keep that as the beginning, and I think I'll just try to build a whole fun little chorus thing. And before I turned the cameras on, I was hanging out with this phrase and trying to think like, well, what are some things that I have been doing? What are things that I would like to do? And something that I kept meaning to do, that I wanted to do, but I often couldn't either, because like the surface that I was dancing on, like I was dancing on a lot of like rocks out on a hike or something this week, and that doesn't really lend itself well to sideways movement or just large amounts of movement, but I think I would like to incorporate that now that I'm on some flat surface. And I was kind of intrigued by the idea of a Suzy Q, so I might do some Suzy Qing and figure out how to add that in, and I think that might end up making a nice little phrase. So let's hang out with those steps, and then maybe I'll just kind of repeat this phrase with the beginning, and then have the idea of a Suzy Q floating around in the air, and see how it happens, and see what I like. And I'm gonna keep dancing to no music, since these steps all came about without music, and I'll just see how that goes. This is very much an experiment, and normally my practice is very music filled, which I definitely don't want to get rid of by any means, but since this is, I don't know, what I've been hanging out with for the week, why not keep playing around? So here we go. We gotta fall off the log. think I like that one the best. It's certainly the one that ends up being the most consistent. It feels a little weird to dance without music when there's no like ambient noise, like no forest wind or like ocean waves or something in the background. But I don't know, maybe if I get too bored with the sound of my own singing and my own stepping, maybe I'll turn on some music. But yeah, I think I like, for now, I'll just keep it this way. Fall off the log, fall off the log, fall off the turn, around and then a half brick, and a log, turn, then Susie, here to the end of the phrase. And I like that I end up with my left foot free. I guess I could, in theory, repeat the phrase on the left. I've never done this kick on this, ooh, that feels weird. I was supposed to Susie Q with the other foot. Doing things on the left is weird. Hey. Yeah, that feels pretty weird. I guess that means I should maybe practice doing that turn. I usually call that a waltz turn, even though it's not in a waltz time at all, but the kick, step, step, kick, 3 steps, so it feels waltzy. Anyway, I guess I should practice doing that waltz turn, going yeah, over the right shoulder, because usually I go over my left. The other way, whatever, the other way is weird. But I think I'm gonna keep that as my first phrase, and then move on to the next theme. So I guess I have my left foot free, so I'll hang out with that. And the thing that often ends up coming next is some hallelujahs with some turning. And I've been finding that turns where I'm hopping on one foot and hopping my way around has been working very well for surfaces that I don't turn well on, I guess. Nature surfaces don't exactly lend themselves well to turning, or at least pivoting, so I've been doing a lot of hopping. But, you know, it is kind of cool to find a new way of turning that works on any surface. So perhaps if I find myself in a sticky ballroom, once again, I will have lots of turning options because it will be less sticky than perhaps the gravelly trail or whatever, like sandy beach that I was trying to turn on. Anyway, so I am generally intrigued by turning after a hallelujah, which I guess would start with my left foot since that's the one that's free. Although it doesn't have to, maybe I want to do some fun transition into hallelujahs. But I generally like a pattern of hallelujah, 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 and turn around. And I generally like this, like, with a little bit more pep and energy. I'm trying to tread lightly for my neighbors downstairs. I mentioned I am in this new temporary space for, hopefully this will be the last week, we will see. I'm over here on the other side of the state helping some friends move, so hopefully we will be moved next week. Anyway, I digress a lot. Treading lightly, having a nice jump out of that turn feels fun and nice. And maybe that means the hallelujah only has to happen on one side, because then I was kind of having fun with changing directions with the turn. That was feeling fun and exciting. So maybe I'll do that. I have hallelujah, 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 and I turn up around, turn around, turn around, hey, 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 hey. Kind of like that. Turning is exciting. Feels very exciting, especially without rocks underneath my feet. So maybe I'll try out some ways of getting into that phrase. And how many 8s did I end up using? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That doesn't really leave much room for a transition, but maybe that means that that last piece, yeah, the last kick's definitely optional. So I'm gonna go back to that first phrase and see if I can find a smooth way of getting into the next hallelujah bit. Maybe that means the hallelujahs are gonna happen on my left leg, which would be fine. I don't love the ending, but I did like the getting into it. That was fun. I like that. I'm gonna keep it, I think. Why not? It's exciting. And it breaks up the Suzy cues. I mean, I like the Suzy cues, but Suzy cues are only interesting for so long. Okay, so that seems nice. Maybe I'll do it one more time and then see if I can find a nice ending point. And then maybe it doesn't necessarily have to have a end. But another, I guess, thing that I've been doing quite a lot is these crossing kicks. Something along those lines. Either like a kick, hey, 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 and then you stagger, kick. I generally like those quite a lot, and so I've been doing them a lot because it feels like a nice way of doing Charleston-ish stuff, but without needing much space. It's a little bit like this way of turning, where I'm only on, the amount of space that my toes take up. So that's a nice step to use outside. So that's certainly one that I've been using a lot. So, hey, we got folks here. Hey, thanks for coming, Swing Happy. Oh, Samantha, hey. Oh, cool. Hey, Tim. Neat. Okay, well, I was standing really far from my phone, so I didn't wave at anybody. But normally I get distracted by waving, so maybe this is good for focus. For so long anyway. So I'm gonna move on. Try to find an ending / a way, or if I like these guys afterwards. So I think I'm gonna repeat this phrase pairing a bit, or I guess it might end up being like this pair and then the next phrase and then this pair and the next phrase, which will feel a little weird. I guess if it feels too weird, I'll just change it. Okay, so we got hey, 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 hey. Oh wait, no, I'm supposed to do Suzy Q. Ha, 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 hey, 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 ha, 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 ha. Oh no. Okay. I think the thing that I want to do, not this. I think since I like ending with a jump thing. And I keep laughing at these jumps because I'm trying to be quiet on this floor, but it mostly means that I think I'm dancing with a little bit of subdued energy. Whatever, that's fine. But I think I want to make think I want to do some TikToks, depending on the surface. I generally use TikToks a lot as well, even if I am outside, which I guess, I don't know, it ends up working just fine. So I think I'll just do a phrase of TikToks. And I mean, in terms of, I was chatting about jazz bites earlier today, like those are certainly something that I have a sort of ready-made jazz bite platter of TikToks. And if you weren't around for either that class or when I was talking about jazz bites, I generally think about like improvisation as jumping between ideas, and with certain ideas that I've explored quite a lot, I have, it feels like a little bit to me like the difference between like having a recipe that I've done a lot and I can improvise with versus opening up someone else's fridge. Like, I think improvisation in the very, like when it feels very foreign, feels like opening up someone else's fridge and you don't know what they have and you don't know where anything is in their kitchen and trying to make anything, and it's quite hard. But if you are making something that you're very comfortable with, or rather improvising with a recipe that you're already comfortable with, and you know generally how certain ingredients work together, and what you can like sub out really easily, and how to change the flavor. That's sort of what I mean when I say jazz bites. So I have TikTok jazz bites, which generally include some ingredients of like TikToks, some wiggly arm times, sometimes arms on the knees, and sometimes legs doing goofy stuff. And then I've also been really digging, and I haven't quite incorporated it in a way that feels consistent, but I think they're like, what did she call them, like raindrops or something? It's a step that the Decavitas do a lot. I think both of them do it quite a bit, but it's like a jump with like a clap, clap, cross. Oh, this is the problem. It's not that complicated. It's not a hard step, but somehow I don't know what it's actually supposed to be. Maybe I'll go and look at them again, doing this step a million times. I did it once last week. I was just noodling around and I did this step without thinking about it, and it worked lovely and it was fine, and I was like, oh great, I think this means I got it, and that's not how learning new things work. So it's somewhere in here, but anyway, I would like to incorporate that. Maybe it'll happen. I think it was only 3 things. I think it was like 3 touches. Maybe it's that. Maybe that's what I'll do anyway. Anyway, I think I'm gonna do a phrase of TikToks. Which means I don't really have to think of a transition, because I'm just, whatever jump thing at the end will be my transition. And then I'll just mess around with some TikToks. So maybe I'll just leave that as like do some TikToks during this thing. And I guess if I'm making a 4-phrase large bite, jazz bite. So I'll just leave that as the B section, assuming I'm dancing to a 32-bar AABA song, which I think is pretty likely. And yeah, so I guess I'll just hang out with these guys for the last phrase and see what comes out. Yeah, so I think here's what I'm gonna do. What are we doing for time? Oh yeah, this seems good. Cool. So I'm gonna dance through this a couple of times with the ideas more or less being like, go from Oh, the other one that I was doing quite a lot was a chug break, where instead of normally like a full break, like the shim sham break, which normally would be step, touch, step, heel, walk it out or out together, whatever you want to do. But I was enjoying doing a step, chug, step, and step, and step, 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 hey, ha, ah, ah. Something like that. Anyway, breaks with chugs. I like them, and it feels very exciting to be able to start the break with this, like, ha! Feels like you're going forwards, but you're going forwards, you know, finger whips, which is kind of fun. So maybe those will be kind of my 2 ideas for the last phrase. So I'll just dance through this a couple of times and see what comes out. I'm gonna keep scatting, and then I think at the end I would like to try this with some music. I think that would be at least entertaining for me, to see how this silently choreographed piece fits to a little bit of music. So here we go. I'll just dance through it a couple times and see if I can sort of solidify something for those last, those last 8 or 16 bars, or however. Yeah, I guess the TikTok section can just be ambiguous. I think that'll be fine. Yeah, here we go. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, ha, hoo, hoo, hoo. Hey, hey, ah, shoo, hey, 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 ah, 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 I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up. But I think I'm maybe just gonna not try to do that thing. I have some hair that really wants to be in my face. I think I'm gonna nix the... I don't know what it's supposed to be. I'll figure it out later. Maybe add it in later. But I think maybe I just want to do a sandwich of, or some interesting pattern of like breaks and kicks. So if I've just done a bunch of TikToks, I feel like it's pretty easy to do either, but I kind of want to start the phrase with the break. I think that's a weird idea. Could be interesting, mildly interesting, right? That's the theme of these practices. Find the mildly interesting things and play with them. So I think starting the phrase with the break might be interesting. And maybe I'll just make that like, I'm gonna start this phrase this way and I'll just figure out what happens after. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and do that whole chorus and see what happens with starting that phrase with the break. And we'll just see, yeah? Do, hey, hey, hey. Shoot, shoot. Do I like that? It's fine. That's okay. Maybe I'll change that one up later, but I guess I'm running out of time. That's okay. I'll hang out with that idea for a little while. Maybe I'll change it over the week. Anyway, we gotta take that. Hey, hey. Oh, I kind of like that. Step, kick, step out together. I feel like what I just did was different than what I did the time before, but I kind of like the idea of maybe making the kicks that I did at the break of the second to last phrase, the end of the B section. So you had like kick, kick, together, down. But if I take the same-ish shape, or at least the same ideas, and then sort of twist them into something that plays on, at least like tickles the idea of the break that I was just doing. So I had like step, well, I mean, you know, the rhythm of, that's a cool rhythm. And I think it looks really cool with feet. It doesn't usually have a lot of kick or flair. It's usually like a, I think I was talking about this a little while ago, talking about like how sometimes rhythmical ideas and visually interesting ideas don't always go together. And I don't think the shim sham break certainly is visually interesting, but I think maybe flashy is what I'm talking about, like having something that is mildly flashy with this specific rhythm. Or maybe I'll change it a little bit, so maybe it's not going to be a very that specific rhythm. But anyway, that's an interesting idea. So maybe if we have, hey, oh right, I was changing feet. And I kind of like the, oh, what did I do? Is that what I did? I can't tell if I'm doing the same thing twice in a row. So we have oh no. Eight, 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. Yeah, kind of. No, and mildly interesting. I think I would like it to feel a little less like I'm grasping at the rhythm, like trying desperately to hold on to it, which is a good place to start, I think. But I think, I don't know, that feels like a pretty good start for something to work on for me this week. So maybe I'm gonna try it with a little bit of music. Hey, thanks for joining, y'all. Hey, dance de hope. Thanks for coming. Okay, so I'm gonna get a song here. Oops. Let's see what we got. I think I'm gonna go for a slowish song. My phone is in the way of my keyboard here, so typing is going slowly. But I think I'm gonna go with a classic Jazzy Tuesday song and go with a nice Sarah Vaughan tune. Spotify's thinking about it. So I have volume. Yeah. Okay. on Spotify? Whoa. This desk is a little tipsy. Tipsy? Tippy. I don't think my desk is tippy. Tipsy. It's definitely tippy. Okay, let's find, I think I'm gonna go with Jump for Joy. Is that too slow? See? Okay, I think I'll just run through this one time since I'm already, I guess, a little long, but here we go, and then I'll go ahead and sign off. Eight, 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. That's hard. Well, anyway, I guess something to work on for the week. I'm gonna stop Jazzy Tuesday right there. I'm already a little over time, but like I said at the very beginning, if you enjoy things like this, which are free, I do Jazzy Tuesdays. I do another free, this isn't much of a class, it's more like a friendly reminder to do things that are good for you, like make some jazz. So this is your weekly reminder to make some jazz. I do another weekly reminder for stretching and taking care of yourself on Thursdays, and that is at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So you can do some time zone math and join me for either Tuesdays or Thursdays. And if you would like to support me and what I do, you can do that on Patreon. And I do a lot of projects. I do weekly projects for the people that support me there. And if you would like to gain access to that, head over to Patreon. And if you would like to gain access to that stuff and money is standing in your way, just shoot me a message. I don't believe in the Lindy Hop paywall and would very, very happily share with you all of the classes and the podcasts and all the things that go on there. So if you have any questions about the things that I do weekly, monthly, at all, just shoot me a message and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. And until next week, I hope you take care. I'll see you either at Jazzy Tuesday, Stretchy Thursdays, or perhaps over on Patreon. So take care, everybody.